Going live, they say I'm going live. I've never done this. Am I live? I think I am live. Oh, look, I'm off center with my stuff here. So I'm sorry. Very first time ever trying live. I kind of did this setup all by myself. So I don't know. The camera angle's a little off, obviously, because I don't have, a good enough camera. Can you guys hear me? Is anybody here that can kind of chime in and say that I've actually am audible? Did I arm that? I want to make sure I did this right before I get going. Oh, there we go. Hey, everybody. Oh, I see. Sorry, guys. Somehow I kind of slowed this down, like the comments that are popping up. All right. Well, so before I get started, whoa, check it out. Look, everybody's coming in here to say hi. It's my first live. How do you do? Sorry for the kind of off angle camera thing, like I said earlier, because like I don't have a camera that turns around a lot, so this is what I got for the first time out. First, I want to say to everybody, Happy New Year, and kind of a quirky New Year, yeah, because everybody getting kind of stressed out over the Omicron thing, but what's the beauty of it all? We all get to listen to music, right? Hi, everybody. God, these things are firing. All these comments are firing on me right now. So just know that I'm seeing them. I just want to say hi and how's it? And I'll get to my subject matters in just a minute. But I'm glad everybody's okay through the holiday. I actually had a little run of COVID through my family. Everybody's okay. And then I'm icing out a little bit. I'm being such the hobbit because my surgery is coming up in about 10 days, finally, for the shoulder. So the last thing I want to do is get any COVID. Yeah. And then they say, oh, you got it. We got to push you again. So I'm being this, like, I'm staying under a coconut tree going, oh, please, nobody sneeze on me. Really quick before I start, let me look at some of these comments here. Did I go to the Tool concert? No, I didn't, unfortunately. The surf. Somebody just asked me how the surf was. It's muddy. It's kind of yucky. I wish I could, that window right there, if I could take my camera there, you could look out, and in a way in the distance, you can see the ocean. But it's kind of muddy. There's a lot of runoff, but it's about 8 to 10 foot faces sets. So for you surfers who just wanted that surf report, but the water from the runoff from the rain we just had is just making all what we call doo-doo water. And the sharks like doo-doo water because sometimes the pigs and stuff wash down into the ocean and the sharks go nami nom. You don't want to be around that. Let me see here. All right, I tell you what, this is incredible for all the comments that's going on. But if I try to eyeball everything, I'll occasionally pop back over here and take a look at it. The first thing I want to kind of address, first of all, thank you all for hanging out. I mean, you guys are all got much better things to do, like probably watch football, right? I want to address, hey, Jason, hey, everybody, how's it? Who makes my puppets? Oh, wait, let me answer that. A company named Axtell Puppets. I do have a couple here that are customized for the kids stuff that I do, but mostly Axtell Puppets, Axtell. He's Steve Axtell, brilliant puppeteer. All right, here we go. So I want to start off really quick with my Metallica fail. Now, I'm sure pretty much all of you got a real kick when I made that stop and I said something along the lines of, wow, the ability for the guitar player and the singer, and I think I said Kurt Hammond, okay? I know. I got smoked in the comments, but not really bad. I had a couple that called me, F-bomb, stupid old guy, go die. If you can't do any research, go get F'd and whatever. I'm like, as I'm sipping my coffee. But I'm going to tell you something, and it's not a cop-out, okay? This is not a cop-out. This is just something I want to share with you because you guys, hi, everybody. I know somebody went with Clint Edmonds, blasphemy. Oh, I know. It's going to end up probably being a meme, and probably somebody's going to write about it. And who the F is this old guy? Doesn't even have his shit straight. Okay, let me first get to where I'm going with this. My Metallica fail is indicative of things that I do. Two things that happens to me while I do reactions. One is I don't do any jump edits. I try not to do any editing. The only edit that you ever really see is when I say, all right. And then I cut to the music I'm listening to because of, I got to do a little something on my computer in order to get the music to play nice and stereo and stuff. So I do that one edit. First of all, the biggest thing that happens to me is I'm really aware that I want to do the best that I can do as somebody who's doing reactions, from my style of reactions. And a lot of times I get stressed inside while I'm talking and I make a stop. And what happens is that coupled with, I'm pretty open with my life. I have had, quite a learning disability with dyslexia. And I've had multiple concussions from playing hockey, skateboarding in the 70s, the occasional fight, the occasional whatever. I mean, I've been hospitalized 3 times, but I know I probably have had more concussions that I've just woken up off the ice and gone, and all right, yeah, I'm good to go. So so what ends up happening is, and what happened, I remember this, what happened with the Metallica video was, in my head, when I was saying that, I saw James Hetfield. You see, I remembered. I saw James Hetfield's face, Hetfield, and who he was. But I didn't obviously match up the name with it. So when I said it, it came out as Kurt Hammond, which of course is not even his real last name. So, and then I think and then during that moment, I think to myself, oh shit, did I just blow this? God. And then I keep going because I don't want to stop in the middle of a reaction because I'm already going. I'm already into it, And so I get nervous and I get stressed out and I make mistakes. How many of you Tool fans, how many Tool fans are out there? Throw me a whatever emoji. How many of you guys are out there right now? You guys probably got a huge kick out of me at the beginning because I didn't know how to say the name or pronounce it correctly. When I would say Maynard, or something like that. And that maybe has a lot. Whoa, geez, look at all the Dual fans. What's up? Boing. And maybe that's because, a little bit of my Spanish background, the NY Maynard, and see how bad I messed up with that. You guys probably got a huge kick out of that. And also for you Tool fans, you guys had to have gotten a kick out of it. And I got a lot of comments about this too, is because there was a new band to me as far as reacting and listening to it in this capacity. I guess I should be putting up stickum notes or something like that. I don't know. But how many of you guys remember when I called Adam Andy? And the bass player Andy was, I get smoked in the comments. I'm sorry. That's just me. I'm so excited to be doing what I'm doing. But the final thing that makes it a little bit of a challenge for me is I get nervous because I'd say 65% of the times when I'm done rendering a video before I pop it up for you guys to see, I go, fuck, I fully missed that section. I should have said something about that. Like it could be something as sick as a great harmony or guitar riff or something, but then I go, oh man, I didn't even mention that. Listen to this. This is the most important part of the track to me, and I fully blew it. And that's because in my mind, as I am streaming live right now, I just try to pour out what I have, when I talk about the things that I talk about. And I'm not apologizing per se as much as I am, or trying, I guess you could say it sounds like I'm apologizing, or maybe I'm trying to justify my mistakes. But yeah, I was a mess as a kid. I think I would have had Ritalin soup in the 60s had they had it back then, for being diagnosed, which is now ADCBEFG, whatever the fuck they call it now. And, they throw the drugs at the kids and stuff. Plus, here's the other thing too. You're going to die laughing at this. Maybe what's not really funny. When I was a kid, I had asthma. There wasn't a lot of treatments for asthma as a kid. You either had that Primatene Mist spray, which was epinephrine, and you're sitting there going, fire, fire. See, now I know where Beavis or Butthead, whoever does that, did that, because that's how I felt every time I would take a hit off of that old Primatene Mist thing. But the other thing is they gave me a drug called Tedrol, and it worked. I'd have an asthma attack at nighttime or something like that. My mom would come in. She's just the most wonderful human being in the world, and she's still with us, you know, so I'm stoked for that. But I'd take this Tedrol pill probably at about 4:35 in the morning, and I'd be breathing fine. But by the time I get up for school, I'd be like, hey, let's go play, let's go do something, you know. And that's just how I was. And so just mixing that all together, that's just kind of the direction my life just stayed on. Never was able to focus on things and stuff. And I don't know, all of a sudden I feel like I should be laying on the couch now and talking to a psychologist. And then I get some freaking drugs. Sorry. All right. So oh, love to my mom. Thank you so much. You just said that. DMT Infinity. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. She just turned 81. And she is everything that I am. Smiles. You know, she taught me smile with the eyes. That's the aloha way. You must smile with the eyes. And then genuine. Because at the end of the day, we end up looking like shit when we're in our 60s, 70s, and 80s. Okay. So that was my Metallica thing. I apologize to the Metallica or all of the people who may have gotten a little like, because I know you're still here. You're hanging out. If you're here chilling with me, God, look at this place is blown up. If you're here chilling with me, then you've gotten past my faux pas and my mistakes and hung out with me while I drilled down on these things. So I want to thank you guys for that. That's just totally badass. And I'm just stoked about that. Okay. Now I'm going to kind of change gears really quick. And I want to talk to you guys because you're the pure listeners. This is a conversation that's been happening, let's just say, more with musicians, producers, engineers, music theorists, people who are more on the platform of standing and talking about proper this or proper that or this. Some of the guys, you know, reactors and stuff. Oh, wow. Larry, thank you. Oh, I didn't know you could do this. Oh, God, I'm sorry. I don't want to get distracted, but thank you, Larry, very much. And Ethan, thank you so much. You know, we know who our good reactors are out there. And I don't mean good like qualified, but ones that we gel with, right? You know, my brother is a very well-known golf pro. I mean, he teaches. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't have met Eddie Van Halen or Tommy Lee or all these rock stars had it not been for my brother, because my brother's kind of the Hollywood golf pro guy that's taught monster artists and musicians and then so on and so forth. You know, half sleeve tats. He's a real punk, and I love him dearly. Any of you golfers want to look him up? It is look him up on his Instagram. It's RDB Golf Tips. I think that's what it is. Anyhow. But what's unique about that is that if you want to learn to play golf, I used to, when I had my recording studio in Studio City, there used to be like 6 or 7 golf pros, right? But if you want to learn to play golf, you just want to hit the ball forward. Who you decide to hang out with to learn that process is a lot like reactions. And what I mean is that are you, most of you who are the pure listener, is the takeaway. You know, what do you feel? Some people enjoy, like, for instance, there's this one guy that I enjoy him. I have had people say, hey man, this guy looks just, you know, you guys wear the same hat. Are you guys friends and stuff? This guy's really cool. A guy named Doug. What do they call him? His Daily Doug. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we all have beards, we all have hats, but totally different way of doing things, right? And his genuine approach to experiencing the rock, it seems very authentic. But what he has, and which I'll talk about later in my little third thing about feel versus theory reaction, is he has a unique way of doing things. I have a unique way of doing things. I also have a very unique way about being very open-minded about the creation of music. And I think that's what kind of contributes to what I do as reactions. What's up? Yes, Ron Del Barrio is his name. Of course. I'm sorry. I'm so bobo. I had somebody leave a comment. I was just talking about my brother, but yeah, Ron Del Barrio. That's who he is. Anyhow, so where was I? See, I'm having a brain fart right now. Oh, okay. One of the things that I'm attracted to, okay, you Tool fans are going to have fun, and you Meshuggah fans, and you Periphery fans, and you Pliny fans and stuff. Hey, then thank you. I'll get back to these messages in a second. I want to start on a roll. Otherwise, I can get bobo. Hang on. I need some of my super juice. Stand by. You guys get coffee. Toast me right now. We get coffee. Or if you get beer, or if you're pulling a nugget, or whatever the case is. Chee-oo. Stand by. Death Wish coffee for the win. Sorry, but I pollute a little bit with vanilla nut creamer. So what are you going to do? Okay. So like I said, for you Periphery, Meshuggah, a very riff-oriented, old-school riff. The discussion between the riff versus the song. like I said earlier, a lot of that conversation is happening within the industry. So the producers and the writers and stuff. But why I want to bring it to you as the pure listener is the discussion is there's too much metal right now. There's too much everything. And all they do is wall to wall riffs. And I don't hear any hooks and I don't, hear anything definable as a hook. And I can agree with them on that. But I don't consider that, and they're not considering it. They're not saying, none of these guys that I watch are saying that it's not a good thing. It's just they focus a lot on, gee, I really miss the linear aspect of songwriting. And what is that? We all know that. Every single person who's watching right now or in the future all know the pop culture. When I say that, I'm not saying pop music, I'm saying pop culture. The last 100 years, let's say, songwriting tends to be a little short intro, get into the verse, maybe a little turnaround, and the hook, the chorus, right? And then from years of training, because of radio play and the emotional programming of songwriting so that you could buy a song, is because we need these little things to remember something, right? So what do we remember? A hook, and it repeats 1, 2, 3 times. And maybe after the second time, there might be a little shift in the music where it would be a solo or a bridge and then the hook out. That's how we're programmed. I think for all the music that I've heard from Periphery, Tool, Meshuggah, and on and on and on and on that are very riff oriented, I don't see the absence of indelible hook. And for me only, this is me, since I'm not a songwriter, I'm not a professional musician, I'm a composer, but I'm not a professional musician. I'm the guy that colors in the lines for people. You got a song and it's only got guitar, but you want to finish it, then that's what happens. People send it to me, I finish it for them, send it back, have a nice day. Thank you all. So many people are sending me cabbage. Thank you so much. Sorry, surfer term for money. Thank you so much. I promise I'll get to these and I'll check them out, but I want to keep on the flow. That my own listening desires is very riff oriented, and I'm gonna bleed into something here. My very first hair raising riff experience that pulled me away from my start of my music world, being born the son of a composer that owns a music school in Mendoza, Argentina. This is when I talk about third generation composer, I literally was born like mom went boom, and somebody gave me a violin. Don't visualize that, but was my very first super song was The Ocean from Led Zeppelin. And I was like, wow, check that out. What is that? That rhythm, that thing. And then that's what defined not only that my listening baseline, but how I do my compositions. Very rhythmic oriented. And there was a period that I went through drums, right? And so drums for 3 years was probably the highlight of my musical education through all the instruments I learned as a kid. And so if it wasn't rhythmical, I wasn't interested in it. And I got fired from a great band I was in. We did Zeppelin, we did Steely Dan, we did all kinds of stuff. But when they said, hey, guys, we got to do disco because everyone's doing disco, I was like, fuck this. I'm not going. And I'd slow down and speed up, and I just bailed on it. But I want to ask you guys, for those of you who are pure listeners, of course, you can chime in if you're a musician. Because I said this once in the video before, what hooks you into a song when you first started? Oh shit, did I just do this? I'm gonna go show you how old I am, put the needle on. Usually it's that first 10, 15 seconds, right? And for me, it was the riff. And let's go back to The Ocean for a second. That riff was the hook, right? It seemed to me. There wasn't a definitive like hook vocally. So I think just to contribute to the conversation about riff versus songwriting, I fully get the people that are saying, I miss or I feel that the trajectory of current metal or bands that are pushing instrumental limits are void of what I am hearing from other reactors. And sometimes for myself, when I go, well, you guys have heard me go, where's the hook? I mean, sometimes I go, I couldn't define a hook, but I was so into the instrumentation that I was like, but I'm going to read something here. Just caught me in the head. You see, now if you read these comments, this is wonderful. This is what I love about this channel, is that I get to learn too, and feel kind of like I can join in a conversation. That there's a lot of people that think like, you know, what are the things that that are multiple hooks in a song, that keep you coming back in. Anyhow, I digress because I do. It's my channel, so fine. You thought I was going to say something else. But to answer that, there is a method. Everybody that's talking about the proper songwriting, yes, there is a method to that. If you want to create a song that lives within the confines of what I consider the pop music commercialized, let's just say theater to the mind, or soundtrack of our life access points, then yes, learn to songwrite. There's great courses out there. There's there's this one guy that I really enjoy. He's very loud and boisterous, a very long-haired guy. He's got to be maybe in his 40s or 50s. He's a studio guy. He talks mostly about music and stuff. And I caught something of his where he and a friend have some kind of music songwriting course. I don't know who he is, and forgive me, but the cool guy, very loud. He's funny, and he's on point on a lot of shit. Check him out if you can find him. Like I just gave you like a dog whistle lead, but whatever. And there are courses, and you can learn for that. But you, as the pure listener, I think the reason why you're hanging out on my channel is you find all these variables super cool, like Linda Coy, vocals and riffs. I don't like the singer's voice, and it's hard for me to get past that. And that, you see here, that's another thing. This was the great thing about enjoying this journey with you guys, that there are so many great musicians that sometimes can't get past the fact of the growling and the culture. See, that's how I wanted to find that, because right now I'm on a really big deep dive of education about death metal and black metal. I just saw this great documentary last night, and I was like, wow, that had to do with something like, well, I'm gonna blow this, so please forgive me. Celtic forest or something like that. The very, very, very beginning and stuff. I'm like, going, this is incredible documentary. Like I get chicken skin. I was like, oh wow, is this all the turns that it took? And then even within that death metal or black metal subgenre, there were the subgenres, and then there was still casting of like, well, that's mainstream, that didn't, or they made it. That crab pull me down in the crab bucket. We have it here in Hawaii. It's called I'm a crab. So, people who try to get out and do things, others will pull them back in because of the confines of the bucket. And what's the bucket? Whatever you want to fucking make it. Anyhow, but the fact is that it's such a unique comment that I get here. So yes, thank you, Celtic Frost. Thank you. And thank you for not smoking me in the comments about it. What a great documentary. I was hooked. I was like, wow. I mean, it's not my jam. I'm not going to BS you guys. But for some reason, when I listen to it, no, I do have a time where I just go, what do I do with these vocals? How do I position this into my listening pocket when I'm listening to the music? But I respect the genres for the value emotionally that it gives to the listener. So I cannot stand on any soapbox and go, oh, those are the worst. Or how can it? I just go, that's just part of the art form. But I still look at the musicians going, how are they doing that? Like I learned a little more about blast beat, how they do that with their snare hand. Like I'm a drummer, but Brick House, Rush, all kinds of like Jeff Beck Wired album and stuff. Like that's what I used to play when I was a kid. That was my thing. I never got into straight up metal, but that blast beat stuff with that snare, I'm like, wow, that's a weight loss program. So, but anyhow, that has a lot of riff, and the melodies, the musicality of that is really carried by the riff, not so much the melodies of the growler or the singer, because it's really not a melody, it's an expression. I like to call it heavy metal slam poetry. I don't know, please somebody don't coin that, right? But so I think it's up in the air. I think it's to each his own, and I think the reason, like I said, I go back into why people talk about they miss songwriting. Sure, I miss that part as well. But what I don't miss is the fact that the opportunity of today with technology and everything, music is being released, pushing the envelope of the standard songwriting, linear songwriting confines. And you have passages and movements and tracks that are 7, 8, 12 minutes long. They allow you to get into it. What do I think has made that such an accessible thing is the fact that YouTube, remember, radio would cock block all of us from listening to great B-side songs because of why? Think about it for a second. I get to drink my coffee. Why did radio cock block a lot of long B-roll B-side singles? Stand by. Now, a lot of you may not know this about radio, but radio has to get X amount of songs in within an hour so they can fit what? Commercials. You push a 7-minute song or something out there, it could throw the chi off of a whole block of commercials and stuff. It's a lot more deeper than that. There's also arrogance and payola back in the day and whatever the case was. But in general, that's the construct of that 3 to 3.5 minute song has been based on radio play, radio friendly. And we've all heard radio edits, right? I did a song by Slipknot and got heavily smoked in the comments like, dude, that was the radio edit. That's just the worst. I go, I'm sorry. I didn't know. I just clicked the link and I went, let me go get some butter for the burn here, pal. I'm sorry. But I think with technology and YouTube and everything, this is what's allowed us to get an expansive understanding of all of our favorite bands, and all of our favorite genres. So yeah. And then finally, I want to get, and I'm going to talk about this last subject matter, and then I'm going to try to cruise through these top chats. I'm so sorry if I'm not responding. This is my first time doing it. I'm not able to. I think everyone's been cool. I haven't seen any negative shit here. I'm not into the blocking weirdness. I'm just trying to be kind of cool. Monkey Farm, how you doing, buddy? There are some people here that I recognize as many people who come by and leave a lot of comments. And that leads me to this last subject matter before I dig out. How long have I been doing this? Oh shit, 26 minutes. I'm sorry, guys. Coffee. I talk too much. It's my day job. Finally, if they on that thumbnail, there was the very bottom one, which was comments that I get. I don't want to say quite a bit of, but I really get poked. They try to poke the bear. I'm not really good on getting triggered about shit. I don't trigger easy. But the statement I wrote on my thumbnail was, this was the worst composer reaction ever. Okay. And I didn't get offended by that, but I understood it, but I didn't get offended by it. To wrap up this live video, I just want to, if you guys have heard some of my other talk story videos, I've mentioned this before, but I'm going to get right to the point here on why my reactions are different, let's say, from Doug's or Nick Nocturnal. God, that guy is great. Don't you guys love Nick? He kills. Not only is he a fun guy to listen to, he's got a great radio voice, but he's also an epically talented musician. He's made a couple jokes about Berkeley, so I'm wondering how deep of a educated musician he is, but I love listening to him. Nick, if you do see this one, dude, you kill for me, man. I really enjoy it. But whether it's Nick Nocturnal, Rick Beato, Daily Doug, and all the others, we all have a different style of doing things. But the lane I choose to stay in is based on the fact that I'm not an educated composer. Feel the silence. Dun, 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 dun. Emotional damage. You remember that Chinese guy who does that on TikTok? Okay, anyhow. My education as a composer comes from my heart and from my ears. And yes, I'm not classically trained, but I'm not kidding. When I was born, the very first music I was exposed to was choral music, because my grandfather was a choral composer in Argentina. And there was reel-to-reel tapes my dad would play or whatever. So my education in music, I was writing music probably by the time I was 7 or 8, but small little things. Mary Had a Little Lamb and stuff. I was getting the idea and stuff. But I never took the path of being an educated, going to school, learning theory and stuff. Remember how I opened up this video? It was because I couldn't focus. I'm one of those guys that I could read a paragraph 4 or 5 times, and then someone could say, "What did you read?" And I'd go, "Fuck. Something about Mary Had a Little Lamb and Doctor Was Surprised." I couldn't focus and I couldn't study. So I had to rely on here as I moved. I know people. Hi guys. Hey, Neurosis Melvins. What's up, guys? I had to write from here. the good thing is that through all my years as a young musician, I learned to play many instruments. And the most important thing, I watched my father compose for all these huge celebrities, you know, massive stars from Al Jarreau to Sinead O'Connor to Michael Jackson to Toby Keith. You know, my whole life has been over my dad's shoulder. So I'd watch him write music. I'd go to sessions with him. We'd read music together. Sometimes I'd sit with him next to him while he's conducting, going through the charts while the musicians are playing. But my reactions are based on what I feel. I think guys like all the ones that do when they call out the chords and stuff like that, I think that's an unbelievable ability. You listen to a chord and go, hey man, that's a D minor 7 diminished fifth add 9. I don't even know if that's a chord, but it sounded cool, didn't it? I can't do that. And I'm not going to fake it. I'm not going to pretend that I know. I did that once on a Snarky Puppy video at the very beginning, and I said, man, that kind of sounds, is that a Lydian mode? No, it's a, and then I got smoked by a bunch of composers, you know. No, what are you talking about? It's a blah, blah, blah. And I said, okay, fine. I'm going to talk about from here. Because all the success that I've ever written, yes, I'm a decent musician. I think out of 1 to 10, I'm probably a 3 to 5 out of my instruments, bass, guitar, drums, whatever. And because of technology, I can write, obviously, all the commercials and the stuff that I do. My reactions are based on why I think I feel like I connect with pure listeners is because I just go, oh, man, that feels so good. What a great turnaround. Like Pink Floyd, when I told Pink Floyd, no, there are strings in there and listen for the horn section. And how many people goes, my God, I had no idea that, what was it? What's the name of the song? See, I'm brain farting. It's my favorite song and I can't remember. Comfortably Numb. And people go, I had no idea. So for me, I can hear, I've got an orchestral ear. And when I do orchestral compositions, be it using, you know, Opus or any of the things that I use, I write and I orchestrate based on my hearing and my memory and what my father taught me, how to layer this. I should do this with the flutes and the French horns, and this should do this and all that. And then I just create from here, you know? And so I'm not a theory guy. And my hats are off to all these professionals that are theory guys. But there's also something that's very unique to me. I think that for myself, and I'm not this, please, all you theory reactors and stuff. I don't mean this as a dig, okay? I'm going to take a deep breath for this because this is where I might catch some shit. Here we go. For me, the theory reaction is landlocked. And what I mean by that is those are the chords, right? So if a theory reactor is going, hey man, I like that transition. That's a minor scale that they use this, and this was the tonic over that. You can't get away from that description of the song because that is the truth. So all these wonderful composers and professors that are doing theory breakdowns, they're all going to say the same thing. How they express if they like it or not, that chord change or that weird thing, is what makes them the reactor that they are. That makes them that person that connects to it. That's just my opinion. That's just my feeling. Because all of us could sit there and look at sheet music and go, oh yeah, okay. And all of us, let's just say it's a circle jerk of theory guys. Whatever. I'm sorry. I don't know why I use that as a theory of the mind. You know, we're all going to look at a piece of sheet music and we're all going to agree, this is the chord, this is a turnaround, this is the, oh, that's great. How we express that is what separates, you know, I believe reactors. For me, I just want to go, oh shit. Did you hear that riff? Do you hear it? Or do you hear that melody that he's singing? You hear how it's ping ponging off of the walls and it gives you that rich, my thing is dynamics, engineering, what I feel, what I hear, you know, so, and forever it will be that way until the next supper. And it'll be Apostles, Party of 12, right this way. Come on down, let's listen to some music, grab your headsets, let's go. You know, and so that's my thing. I so take my hat off. I learn from these other reactors, I really do, because there's that part of me that is still the geek. And hey, Arthur, thank you. And once again, I want to thank everybody who's dropping ducats here, because I'm like talking to you and the camera's over here and I can see colors pop up, and I promise I'll run through these and thank you guys at the end. I think, and without a doubt, to close this on the reactors, on all these reactors that we've been checking, all of them, There's hip hop artists reacting to metal. There's all these other reaction channels, and some of them are really fun. I like to watch it because I know for sure that hip hop artist probably never heard "Bleed" from Meshuggah. Meshuggah. God, you see, I just did it, Meshuggah. And so I'll sit there and watch and just see, even if it's a conjured up emotion, I know that guy's going to get butt blasted by, that riffage. But here's the best thing about what I believe currently, even though it's an oversaturated thing on YouTube, reactions, music reactions. What I love about all of the reactors together is that, like that analogy that I used earlier with my brother, who's the golf pro, Ron Del Barrio, RGB Golf Tips on Instagram. And he's also kind of a gnarly one. He likes to cuss a lot and stuff. He's one of those golf pros. That's why he's got a lot of Harley Davidson and rock and rollers and tough guys taking lessons from him. Is that with all of these reactors, we elevate whatever music that we choose, and we bring in people into the total experience of music. Whether you listen to me, you listen to Rick or Nick or Doug or any of the guys, we elevate that experience and bring it to you in a way where at least the four of us, I could say we're all musicians, obviously, and we can telegraph certain things out there. And that's what I believe makes it really fun. And it's a really fun community. I'm not going to be doing this for too much longer. And it's not because I don't want to, but I'm praying that one day this whole virus thing blows over in a way where I can do what I really want to do. And I want to get back into the hospitals with the kids. This channel is a derivative of like, fuck, what am I going to do? It was November 2020. I'm like, I'm dying here. And then on top of it, not literally, but on top of it, hospital visits are the last things that are going to get approved. So it's almost like I was going to leave on a tour of 100 hospitals, March 2020. 100 hospitals through the United States. I was going to start at Spokane and drive down and go and then take a break and fly home to Hawaii, catch some waves, and then go back in the mid and just try and hit all these hospitals and children's hospitals or hospice and stuff. And then COVID hit. Threw my whole chi off, until this opportunity came, and my granddaughter said, and my daughter, hey, you got to try reactions. You know how you talk to us about music? You got to try it. Now look at me. The hell. Anyhow, to close the thing up on the reactions and the reactors, I think it's really, really a super cool thing because we're all bringing something to people who like to watch us, and we get to commiserate. It's not the right word. We get the joy out. We get to celebrate, going, yeah, I really love that song too. Because a lot of people go, why would anybody want to listen to a reactor? Well, because there's people that want to sit down and just enjoy music with other people, And then finally, that's the funniest comments I get. I get people that tell me how to do reactions. That's the best. I'm not even going to expand on that. I'm like, the fuck? What? It says reaction. If you don't want anybody to stop or talk over the videos, why the fuck not gotta follow my malafa? Are you even leaving a comment, you asshat? Anyhow. Okay, now I'm going to turn into the comments for a second. Stand by. And this is just so bombing. These comments are so cool. I'm going to read these, obviously, when I render this out. Yeah, Jay say 63. Oh, I totally agree with you. That comment that just popped up. And then Chris, are you saying that my background is too bright or something? I don't know. If that's what you're saying, I don't have a really good system. My cameras are dying, and I'm trying to save up to get a nice little mirrored camera, or the DSLRs. I've been using these little cams, and I'm like, all right. Wow, looks like I really lit off a nice thread for responses to reaction channels. And that's, hey Chris Harini, how's it? Hey Bob, thank you. It is a unique community out there, and the last thing I want to say before I bail is this reaction phenomenon on YouTube is a lot like what we get when we watch bloopers. You know what I mean? That's how I feel about it. When I watch my favorite movies, whether, from the 50s and the 60s, all the way to the nice bloopers that we get, the Friends bloopers that go around, or the Seinfeld bloopers and stuff, we kind of feel a little connected with that person. Now finally blows it, you see who they are. Well, I blow it all the time, so you can see who I am. But there is, I believe, the reaction phenomenon is based on just being with somebody and hanging through, and you love laughing at this. I'm going to watch it for the first time and you get to watch me laugh and I get to laugh with you and we get to go, ah, and that's probably the most consistent comment is I love watching people discover for the first time this song, whatever. And the other one is the other fun comment is that I get is I love when, well, if it's leaving me a comment, I love when you respond the way you do physically to the things that I do when you hear a certain section. And I guess that's what it's all about. So anyhow, listen, guys. Oh shit! Look at this. 40 minutes. You guys. I can't believe anybody's even still here hanging out. But hey, a little Death Wish coffee. Yeah, I'm a going full. So anyhow, listen. Greeting Romania. I have a little Romanian blood in me somewhere. I don't know. My mom says it might be only this much, but I get Romanian in me. Hi. But I have people ask what my nationality is. Obviously, I am not Hawaiian, but I have lived in Hawaii almost all of my life, on and on, 65% of my life, except when I lived in Los Angeles, had a recording studio out there and did everything. But I'm Argentine Italian, and I'm a first generation American. So my dad is 100% Argentine, my mom is Italian and Romanian, and a couple of other things. And so that's where you get this like, well, wait a minute, he doesn't sound like he's Hawaiian with the, no, I love the Hawaiian culture. I breathe it, I live it, and I feel blessed to be on part of it peripherally, you know, and support it. So that's why when you hear me say aloha or certain things that are, you know, Hawaiian, I'm not bullshitting. This is just how I feel. And the word aloha means more than just hi and bye. You know, it's sending out good love and, you know, that kind of thing. So, hi, Colin. Okay. Infected mushroom. Hey, didn't I do an infected mushroom? Yeah, I got to go back to that. And I'm gonna, and Pantera. Oh boy, did I open up Pandora's box with Pantera and that journey? My goodness, I'm learning, and I know that when I go into surgery, I'm gonna be slowing down on the channel, but I'll be really landlocked. I'm gonna be watching these documentaries. What a great story, sad story, great story about Pantera. Sad, obviously, because there's always some kind of bobo out there that's got you in the line of sight and line of sight, you know, and it's just, that was horrible. But what an incredible story that mom and dad said, here, son, kids, music, guitars, whatever. Same thing with Van Halen. Here, drums, guitar, you know, that's the last thing I want to say before I leave. Hi, Ethan. Thank you. Here's the last thing I want, and then I got to bail. This is just getting to be too much. If at any time in your world, if you don't want to pick up an instrument, that's totally cool. I mean, you want to be that pure listener. You don't want to stress learning an instrument, you know, like anything else. My friend right now at 64 is learning how to play mandolin, and he's calling me up because he's got the little lines in his fingers and it kind of hurts. And I try to teach him, hey, just chill out, learn certain things. But if there's anything that I want to say in closing is please, please, please think about giving somebody, some young person, the opportunity to get into music. An ukulele. You guys, you hear me talk about ukulele. I got ukulele lessons up to bazooka on my AWWWRIGHT page on YouTube. So you guys know that I with the puppets, but on that channel, I got a shit ton of really super fun ukulele lessons. It is such an easy instrument, small, 60 bucks, 70 bucks, 80 bucks. It's a beautiful instrument. My father used to say, if I was going to play any instrument again, I want to play guitar. I say, why, Dad? He says, because you hold that instrument so close to your heart. I was like, Dad, you make me emotional. Shut up. So give the opportunity to somebody, a nephew, a niece, a grandson, granddaughter, one of your own children, or maybe a kid down the block that you see that doesn't have any friends, you know, and introduce them to music somehow. Give them an instrument, give them an opportunity, because now, because of YouTube, you can just call up YouTube and you can start your day, you know. And then for those of you who just love music to listen to it, well, you know, I really wish I could be you guys sometimes, because I'm a mess up here because of what I do, you know. And speaking of what I do, I'm going to be getting back to work soon, also with some compositions coming up. I'll lay you on to fuck. I will tell you one thing. I just got through doing this really cool satire bit on Harry Potter. So what I had to do, this director had me write a mosh between, the opening was like an 80s power metal vibe with I did some kind of new metal, kind of edgy stuff. I mean, there's vocals and there's performance, and then it transitioned into a trap metal. So like hip hop, but with my full metal crunches in there and some unique pinch harmonies. I learned how to do those finally. And then I closed that whole thing with the full power of everything in an orchestral part. So hopefully, as soon as I find out that they're done shooting and there's an air date, I'll let you know. So anyhow, guys, thank you so much. It's my very first live. Do you think I should do these lives maybe once a week or once every 2 weeks? What do you think? I'll wait. I'll look at the comments. Should I do these lives once every couple of weeks? But yes, yes, yes. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. All right. I'll promise too to be a little shorter because I know valuable time. As a matter of you, probably some of you are watching this and breaking away and watching football. So, oh God, you guys are just the best, man. It really, don't worry. I'm not getting emotional now. I'm not well enough, but I just, if you leave, I keep on saying the last thing, but this is the last thing that has nothing to do with music. You ready for this? This is my little pearl of wisdom. If you leave yourself and you're open to the universe, pivots show up in the most incredible ways. That's all I have to say. 5 years ago, if you told me I would have been a ventriloquist for kids' hospitals, I would have said, what kind of glue were you sniffing back in the 60s? And then if you told me I was going to open up a channel and this was going to happen, I was like, there's enough people doing it. Who wants to listen to this old fart surfer talk about music? So leave yourself open to the experience. The pivot will come. And that pivot could be emotionally, it could be spiritually, it could be healing. Don't worry, I'm not going to get woo-woo on your ass, but you know what I'm talking about. Just leave it open, man. And it comes. For us, it comes in the form of music. All right, guys, listen. I'm going to very clumsily end this because I don't know what I have to click. I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out. I want to thank you guys for your support. Some people are thinking that you have to suggest only on my Patreon channel. No, my Patreon channel is I'm so stoked for that support. It's going to help me buy the new camera. That's what I'm really excited about. I'm so excited about that. But no, you don't have to go to Patreon and go in there to leave a comment and a suggestion. You can do it here on the comments, and I put them in a list that's like a scroll now. But I get through it. And thank you guys so much. I don't know any better way to end this, but Happy New Year. It looks like we're really kind of hovering in a place where all we have left is to go up. So let's all, wing up and fly out of this bucket of 2021 that was a pile of for a lot of us. But still enlightening. It was great for me to meet you guys. You guys take care of yourself. Have a wonderful day. I might come back in and do another my very first reaction for this year. Or hey, you know what I was thinking of doing? I was thinking of going through my year's worth of shit and doing a blooper reel. How about that? There's a lot of things that have happened. You think I should do a blooper reel? That would be kind of sick. All right, I got too much time on my hands. You guys take care of yourself. Thank you so much for hanging on the channel. Thank you so much for putting up to 48 minutes of you yabbering and yammering. And it's been a blast. And I will do this at least once or twice a month. And thank you so much. I have to go through these top chat things. I don't know what to do. I think I'm going to click on that and it shows me. Thank you all so much who have left a little cabbage here for me. And please, 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 I know some of you really drill down on me for suggestions and reactions and stuff. And those who even pay and say, hey, could you? I try my hardest. I really do. I really, really do. I eventually do get to them, but I really try. You got to imagine what my list looks like. And then there's so many great people out there that have been so kind and generous with the cups of coffee for the kids, for me, and the whole thing. So thank you guys very much. Super happy New Year. I'm going to end this thing. And thank you all too for people who are sharing my videos too, because it seems to be making the rounds on the internet. So, all right, wait, I'm going to leave you with a joke. Ready for this? Okay, this is the dad joke. So hang on, let me get a sip of coffee. I promise you're gonna love this. Stand by. First of all, obviously not my joke, but here we go. Ready? So this lady is in court because she fully assaulted and beat her boyfriend with a guitar. And the judge says to her, first offender? And the lady goes, no, first a Gibson, then a Fender. Ba-dum-bum. What a way to end it. Guys, take care of yourself. I know it. You got. I'll wait. I'm gonna wait here for a second to see how many laughy faces come popping up here. I knew that would come up. You see, you see, you see, you see. All right, guys, listen. Take care of yourself. Aloha, and like I always say, all right. See ya. What button do I push? Oh, it's this one. Aloha.